Speaking from where Rajesh left, his concluding remark was that when the COVID is in its last phase, when he says we have a reason to trust somebody who is involved in the genome sequencing. So, taking up from that optimistic note, we have with us Director General CSIR, Dr. Shekhar Mande, Secretary Biotechnology, Rajesh Gokhale. We have Director Mr. Gopal, Dr. Gopalakrishnan, Mr. Malhotra from the Railway Board, senior officers and representatives from Marth, Mahua, Railway, and of course, as was mentioned in the beginning, we have directors of the different CSIR laboratories connected to us. More so, the instrumentation lab from Chandigarh, which has contributed to the making of this technology. I think enough has been said about this. COVID, in a way, also gave us an opportunity to realize some of our potentials, which either we had not realized or which we had not worked upon. And this is one of them. And if every adversity is accompanied with a virtue, I think this is one of the most glorious instances that has happened in the last century or so. It made us realize not only the resilience of the medical fraternity, but our also capacity to immediately reorient ourselves to this new challenge which had confronted the mankind all of a sudden. And then one thing led to the other, and in the process, we have also now come out with certain innovations and technologies which would be of utility to the mankind even after COVID passes off. That does not mean that we would not have developed these technologies otherwise, but might be it would have taken time. But as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. The amount of urgency which was thrust upon us enabled us to work overnight. And that itself speaks volumes about the inherent potentials and the inherent skills possessed by the scientific fraternity of India, both medical, otherwise, which come to the fore whenever they get an opportunity. Now, as far as this ultraviolet technology is concerned, as was being mentioned by some of the speakers earlier, it has come handy during the COVID times, but otherwise also I think the time had come for a technology like this. The kind of pollution sometimes that we have, sometimes contamination with overcrowding in the closed spaces, whether in the transport areas, the railway coaches, the small chambers. And this is not going to be effective only in the COVID times, as was being rightly mentioned. It will also have antifungal, antimicrobial, antibacterial effects, and so many other things. So unless the man learns to keep his environment contamination free, I think we'll have to seek the support of technology. And therein where it comes. I'm also glad to share with you that we had already installed it in the Parliament House just before the last session began. It was put in place in the Central Hall and also in the Lok Sabha chamber. We wanted it to be formally announced in the House by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, and Speaker of the Lok Sabha was very kind to have taken our accepted our suggestion, and he said he would do that at an appropriate time. But unfortunately, the House was never in order, so he didn't find it appropriate to make an announcement when it would go waste in the din. But I'm sure now the House is going to start again. We'll request the Honorable Speaker to put it on record. And at the same time, we have also requested the Secretary General of the Rajya Sabha, and therefore we can also extend the same facility to the Rajya Sabha as well. But at the same time, we would also have to make sure to reiterate again and again that does not mean that once this facility has been installed, then we can do away with what is now been popularly described as the COVID appropriate behavior, not that we can then do away with the masks or the social distancing, which is actually not social distancing, it is physical distancing. Rather, COVID has brought us socially closer, like you see so many people connected. So, not that we would do away with that part of it, but nevertheless, at least we would have certain safeguards against possible contamination happening in the atmosphere around us. So, using the same technology as was being mentioned by Mr. Malhotra, we have already engaged with the railways and they have already started using it in the air-conditioned coaches. I think it can be extended further as well. They are already in touch with their counterparts in the north. The DGCSIR is already engaging with them. And there too, because there is no limit to the use of this technology. And just a thought was occurring just before this program set in. The DGCSIR is also contemplating writing to the Election Commission of India, because now with the in the wake of COVID, the kind of guidelines that have been issued of holding meetings in closed spaces or in certain auditoria or in certain halls, there also such technology could be installed. The other part of it is that we have been in the recent past trying to engage with all the ministries. And this is one of the best examples of the integrated working that we have done. We are the same dais. We have the railway department sitting. We had the MORTH connecting us through the online means. So this is the working of the government as a whole, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi keeps emphasizing every now and then. And in fact, it was with the inspiration, the motivation of Prime Minister himself that in 2016, we undertook an exercise like this, wherein the representatives from the Department of Space engaged in a brainstorming with each of the different ministries to make them understand where space technology would come in and to also induce them to put across their requirements. And I remember there were a series of railway accidents happening about 3 years back. Then I myself had gone to the railway power to tell them that we had through space technology means to detect a potential obstructing object 10, 15 kilometers away, which possibly had not been actually shared with them. And so I think coming out of silos and getting in touch with each other at least enables us to what lies of our utility with you and with at your end for us. Similarly, the unmanned crossings also now using space technology. And this is an extension through another department of science. In fact, I would rather suggest that if required, we could also have joint working committees in place with such of the ministries and departments where the scientific intervention is to a larger extent. Like, for example, railways, we have engagement through space technology. Now that all the science ministries and departments are also working on the same platform. So we have engagement with the railways through space technology. We have through CSIR. In the times to come, we could also be using atomic energy because we are using them also for the warehouse transports, increase the shelf lives of the food products, etc. Similarly, also more now and more DGCSI would bear me out. We are not there only to provide these technologies. We are also there to do some kind of, if I may say, at the risk of sounding self-boisterous, value addition to your Central Vista ambitious program, because the CSIR has been vested with the responsibility of creating a corridor or a kind of a passage with reproducing the history of the last 150 years or so. 75 years, is it? Yes. So there too, CSIR steps in. So I think these are the wonders which could happen only because we are working together. And I think the time also, because if we have a joint committee in place, we could have a designated officer from this department, designated from the railways, who could be in touch on a regular basis. So they could also keep working upon the new areas where we could collaborate instead of, because I can understand the head of the department or the secretary level meetings cannot happen very often. And then the follow up also cannot happen that effectively. But at the concern level, of course. So the crux of the matter is that we have to be little less possessive about ourselves and give up ourselves to the others. And I am not saying this to take a high moral ground. I am saying this as a student of science because we have no other option. Because science, technology, and all these gentlemen sitting here have so much intruded into all the other domains. If we don't integrate with each other, science and technology will otherwise hijack everything. So virtually, what is appearing non-scientific is also now hugely dependent on innovation. In fact, I was telling yesterday I was called to speak at a governance meet. I said now the governance is also virtually science-based, and maybe by 2047 you will not have a civil servant required. So I think there's no other option. Otherwise, these gentlemen sitting here with all these scientific brains hidden inside them are going to hijack everything else. So it's better we make the best utility of the scientific finesse and skill that India has. And as far as the other technology about the ventilation part of it was concerned, uh, we have conducted trials, and I'm sure they are still working on it. And in the course of time, when we have some more validation, we'll move forward. But right now, if we have come out with this ultraviolet facility, I think it requires to be further propagated. And I would also suggest to Director General CSIR that even the private sector could be made aware of this, because I'm sure the COVID is as virulent or as infected for the private person as it is for a government servant. So, because he does not ask you your introduction before infecting you. So, I think the stake is equal and we could actually provide our services there as well. So, I'm actually very glad to be here, and I hope the COVID will pass off, but this ultraviolet technology will be there to stay because it's going to be applicable as well as relevant even in the post-COVID times. Thank you very much.